Welcome students to this session of 8th Standard English. We are going to see the poem 2.3 The Worm by Thomas Gisborne. Children, here are some examples of the worms which we see in our surrounding, which we usually see in our lawns, gardens, or anywhere easily which we find the ants, honeybees, dragonfly, caterpillar, earthworm, spider. But do you know for what sake God has created them? Children, in some or the other way, these worms are useful to us, and that is why they are being created by the God Almighty. And we don't have the rights what has been created by Him to destroy knowingly or unknowingly. They are there to maintain some or the other thing in this environmental cycle. So we don't have the rights to kill them. That's what the important message is been given by the poet in this poem which we are going to see. Here we are going to see one by one all the worms in detail, how they are important to balance this ecological system around us. So first we'll start with dragonfly. As you can see the image of the dragonfly, it eats pests, flying insects such as mosquitoes, butterflies, moths and smaller dragonfly. So it helps in controlling the unwanted insects which grow by eating them. Next is the spider. Spider eats indoor pests, mosquitoes, flies and cloth moths, providing effective home pest control. So in some or the other way, these worms are useful to us. Children, here are the examples of another two worms. First one is honeybee and another one is ants. So first we'll see honeybee. Honeybees are important because of their pollination services, providing food in the form of fruits, berries, nuts, leaves, roots and seeds. Next one is ants. Many ant species eat eggs of household insects like flies, bedbugs and cockroaches. Thus, ants are the killer of different species, which is important for plants and animals. Continuing with the worms, children, here are caterpillar and earthworm as you can see in the image. Caterpillar, it teaches us the wisdom of constant and incremental evolution, to compete, to advance and to win in our business as well as our personal lives. So it gives us a lot of teaching to one in the life, how one can grow and change the life thoroughly. Next is the earthworm. It burrows the soil, thus improving the soil structure. Earthworm moves through the soil of a garden. They make tunnels. These tunnels allow air and water to get to the root of plants. So in many ways these worms are useful to us, and what message through these worms or these small insects, what poet wants to give, we are going to see in the coming poem. Children, here we are going to see the introduction of the poet. The Worm is written by the poet named Thomas Gisborne. Thomas Gisborne was born on 31st October 1758 till 24th of March 1846. Was an English priest and poet. The poem tells us about the beauty of nature that lies in small things. It tells us the story of nature when seen through a worm's eye, and how ruthless we are to kill them without ourselves noticing it. In this poem, the poet brings out emotions that he has for the little worms. He says we should take care not to step on them and take away their lives. They may be tiny but are God's creation, and no one has the right to take away another's life. These creatures only get few days to live, so we should let them enjoy their life and should give them the same freedom that we enjoy. Children, before starting the explanation of the poem, let's recite once the whole poem. Turn, turn thy hasty foot aside, nor crush that helpless worm. The frame thy scornful looks deride, required a god to form. The common lord of all that move, and from whom thy being flowed, a portion of his boundless love on that poor worm bestowed. The sun, the moon, the stars he made, to all his creatures free, and spreads over earth the grassy blade, for worms as well as thee. Let them enjoy their little day, their lowly bliss receive. Oh, do not lightly take away the life thou canst not give. Children, we are going to see the line-wise explanation of the poem from here. Turn, turn thy hasty foot aside, nor crush that helpless worm. The poet appeals here to us that let's not crush a worm. Move aside your foot, which is moving so fast and carelessly. Avoid crushing the helpless worm. The next line says, the frame thy scornful look deride, required a god to form. He adds up here that do not be scornful and have hatred for the creatures, that you cannot give life. God gave them life, although the worm merits our contempt. Yet the Creator made him, both of them, the human beings and the worm, with lots of love. So let's have a respect for these living things also. Do not crush them with hatred. The common lord of all that move, from whom thy being flowed, a portion of his boundless love on that poor worm bestowed. Let's take the first line. The common lord of all that move, from whom thy being flowed, shows here that the common Lord is one Almighty for all of us, who has created all the living things on this earth, right from the tiny creatures, these worms, till the human beings. A portion of his boundless love on that poor worm bestowed. Here the poet is trying to tell us, Lord Almighty shows his unlimited, boundless love in the same way as he showers on us. If we try to kill these tiny creatures, Lord will definitely get hurt from this act of the human beings. Moving on with the next line, children. The sun, the moon, the stars he made, to all his creatures free. This line means God not only made living creatures, he also made the universe. The sun, moon, stars and all the heavenly objects. He made this as a gift for all his creatures. Next line says, and spread over earth the grassy blade, for worms as well as thee. By this line he adds, he has himself spread plants and blades of grass all over the earth. This is for the worms as well as for mankind, we the humans. So by this he is giving us the importance of the natural things which are present on this earth is for all the living beings, not only for the humans but all the living things which survive on this earth. Moving on with the next line, children. Let them enjoy their little day, their lowly bliss receive. Here the poet tells us, on behalf of the tiny beings, the poet appeals, let each creatures, even the tiny ones, enjoy the simple pleasure given to them by the Almighty. Let them enjoy their short life well and not kill them. Moving on to the next line. Oh, do not lightly take away the life thou canst not give. Here the poet adds, we do not have the right to take anything away from them, especially their lives. By our careless attitude, we should not take away that which we are incapable of giving, namely life. So the poet tells us here, life is only given by God And so think before you crush a life of any living being, however small it may be. Children, here we are going to see line-wise figure of speech of each line here. The number one in that, turn, turn thy hasty foot aside. This stands for repetition. The word turn is repeated to create a poetic effect. Number two, nor crush that helpless worm. It stands for apostrophe. The reader is directly spoken to as if he or she is right in front of the poet. Number three, the frame thy scornful looks deride. First one figure of speech in this is alliteration. The sound of letters TH has been repeated for poetic effect. And the second figure of speech is tautology. Here the words scornful and derides, which means the same. It stands for same meaning, namely hatred, which have come together in a one line. Continuing with the figure of speech with a further stanza of the poem, a portion of his boundless love. It stands for imagery here. The poet used descriptive imagery to make the poem appealing for the reader. Next line, fifth one, the sun, the moon, the stars he made. It's an inversion here, children. The line is not in a proper prose order. The correct prose order is, he made the sun, the moon, the stars. This line also stands for alliteration. The sound of letter M, as you can see, has been repeated for poetic effect. Another one is also there, that is the third figure of speech is repetition. The word the, THE, has been repeated for poetic effect. Moving on to the next line, sixth one, to all his creatures free. This is again an invasion here, children. The order of the words has been changed for the poetic effect. The correct order should be free to all his creatures. So it is an inversion here. Moving on with next line and next stanzas of the poem, figure of speech only, children, and spreads over earth the grassy blade. Here it stands for inversion. The order of the words has been changed for poetic effect. The correct order should be and spreads the grassy blade over the earth. Eighth one, for worms as well as thee. This line stands for alliteration. The sound of letter W has been repeated for poetic effect. And here, repetition is also there. The word as has been repeated for poetic effect. Moving on with the ninth one, let them enjoy their little day. It stands for alliteration. The sound of letter TH has been repeated for poetic effect. And it also stands for apostrophe. The reader is directly spoken to as if he or she is rightly there in front of the poet. Moving on with the figure of speech only, the 10th one and the last one. Oh, do not lightly take away the life thou canst not give. It stands for alliteration, children, here. The sound of letter I has been repeated for poetic effect. And it also stands for apostrophe. The reader is directly spoken to as if he or she is rightly there in front of the poet. Children, here is the appreciation of the poem The Worm. The poem Worm has been written by the poet Thomas Gisborne. It's about God's creation, the worm. Rhyming scheme of the poem is AB, AB, CD, CD. The figure of the speech used in this poem is apostrophe, inversion, repetition to create a poetic effect. The theme of the poem is live and let live. Message conveyed by the poet through this poem is to take care of even the smallest creature, the worms or insects. These creatures are helpless, but they are God's creation, just as God also loved its smallest creature. So, if we harm or kill them, we are going against the will of God. And at last, children, I would like to convey or like to give the message on behalf of the poet to all the human beings or my dear students who are going through this poem or watching this video. Every creature on the earth is created by God. Every life on the earth has a right to live. All the resources are for everyone. If you cannot give life, don't take away also. Live and let live. This is the important message which is the poet appealing throughout the poem, children. Thank you.